Hi class, the lesson I planned is for a first grade class. It's an ELA lesson that discusses the main idea of a text. So I decided to use the book Chrysanthemum because I feel like it ties perfectly into my All About Me unit. The book discusses peer relationships, feelings, and individuality, which is just perfect for the All About Me. So, when asking students at such a young age to refer back to the text to support their answers, I feel that it's very difficult for them. So in a way to make it fun, I have them pretend that they are detectives, and when they're referring back to the text, I give them magnifying glasses to use to pretend that they are detectives. So hopefully it makes it fun, it motivates them and engages them to use the text, use the words and the pictures to support their answers. So the intro to my lesson, I have the kids help me make a list of the nice things and the not so nice things about the name Chrysanthemum. So some of the students said, the name sounds pretty, it's unique, and it's like a flower. Some of the not so things that my students said was that it's too long, it's strange, and it's hard to say. So this was just like a little icebreaker to get them into the name Chrysanthemum and talking about the qualities that we like about ourselves and so on. So after this list, after we created this list, I go into explaining the idea of main idea to the students. On this chart I wrote, what's the big idea? And I explained and I defined the main idea of a story. So a main idea is the most important part in the story, and I tell the children that the author often repeats the main idea in different ways throughout the story to reinforce the main idea. Moving on to guided practice, so then I do the read aloud with the students, and I stop throughout certain points in the story, and I have the students try to come up with the main idea of each little part of the story to ease them into finding the main idea of the whole story. So after reading a couple of pages, I stop and I put some statements on a chart paper. The first statement was, the students tease Chrysanthemum about her name and she feels horrible. The second statement I put on the paper is, Victoria picks on Chrysanthemum about her name. And the third statement is, all of the other students in the class have short names. So I stop and I ask the students to think about what the main idea of this part of the story is. After taking some suggestions and answers, we come up with the conclusion that the main idea of this part of the story is that the students tease Chrysanthemum about her name and she feels horrible. So this helps the students practice main idea and identifying what the main idea is. So after we do this, I pair the students up into groups of 2 to come up with the main idea of another part of the story on their own. And I do the same thing. I write the statements on a piece of chart paper, and they work together, they discuss with each other, they compare their answers. To increase socialization, I think it's important that we have group work in each lesson. And after about 5 or 10 minutes of their group work, we meet again as a group and we discuss their findings. So while they're in the group work, I think it's important to say that I would circulate the room and monitor the students' discussions. I would keep a running record, and I would make sure that they're staying on the right track, they're understanding what they're saying, and I would also provide assistance to those who needed some guidance. Okay, so to finish off the lesson, I will have students identify the main idea of the whole story. I've created a list. Once again, the main idea of the story Chrysanthemum, I put 3 statements on the board. Chrysanthemum